Well, this is the most difficult video I have ever recorded, and some of the most difficult moments, thoughts, beliefs that I've ever had. First of all, I burned my nose. I did not get a nose job, just so we're clear on that. And my ears are ringing so loud I can just barely form a sentence right now. But I've finally been broken. My faith, my spirituality, everything that I have crafted myself around is completely shattered. A lot of reels you may see or people you may see online will say, like, oh, go share your story, don't have imposter syndrome, say what you believe, say what you feel, say what you know. And this moment right now is exactly why I was so hesitant to do it. I started to do it last summer because I believed that by this time I would be sharing that everything had shifted and changed and it all turned around, and I would be able to share with people how to do it and how to hang on through the process of shedding and surrender, and that people that were struggling would find some reassurance and some support in my posts, in my videos, and some gratitude in the fact that I was so willing to be so vulnerable and share the reality of my belief system and what I knew. And even though I wasn't really sharing the depth of the grief that I was feeling, I had recently posted it here and, shared a lot of the story. And again, with this belief that everything was just about to, you know, almost overnight shift, but that I had surrendered everything, every everything, and I mean everything, to the point that the only thing I had left was my faith, my spirituality, my relationship with the angels, archangels, ascended masters, ancestors, Yeshua, God, the creator of all things. And now I surrender that because I don't believe any of it anymore. And when I look back at when I started that journey, that I started really trying harder to listen to my intuition, to follow the guidance, to follow the signs, to listen in prayer and meditation, and to really let go of things before the trauma came. I had witnessed cycles in life that I didn't know when to let go. And so things would just get progressively worse and worse and worse until there was some big trauma. And then I'd let go, and then something new would flow in. But it only happened at the same time because I held on till the last minute till I So, starting about 12 years ago, I really just started listening, and especially 2025. That was the year that I let go of everything as I was called to, or as I recognized the signs, instead of waiting for the trauma. Instead of being so beat down and grief stricken that I couldn't function, I listened as I was called to surrender and let go of my business, my home, even entertainment, even, simple pleasures in life. I got rid of everything: pop music, movies. I stood up for my boundaries, which I had started to do the year before, protecting myself, not playing into toxic behavior from friends or family, not participating in the cycles of narcissistic abuse anymore. Oh, my right here. And so last year, I spent the whole year listening and surrendering and really believing in this, like this vision that I had been given, this ideas that were coming into my mind that I hadn't really imagined or thought of since I was a little kid, since I really knew how to dream. And so I just kept letting go, believing that in the surrender is the preparation of your vessel or your life to receive new, to be on your destined path, and to be in your purpose for being here on earth at this time, incarnating here again. But now looking back, I don't think it ever served me. Something happened to me in 2009, and it broke me in such a way that I just started living differently because somebody hurt me so bad. It destroyed the flame inside of me, and I started living differently. And then in 2014, someone that I really trusted, I found out was spreading lies about me to my company so that I would not be able to have what I deserved there and get ahead. And then they quit. But they were my boss, and they had already damaged my reputation so severely that even the recipients of the false information came to me, showed me what was documented against me. They knew it wasn't true, but they were powerless to overcome what had been documented. And it was at that time that I went even deeper into my new belief system, into listening to the intuition, to following the signs, and believing that it was my spirit team, my angels, God, removing me from the matrix, from the falsities, from the ability for someone to have that type of control or power over my life. Remove the ability of someone to destroy what I had created. through my loving kindness and hard work. And so I let go then. And then I tried to rebuild my life. I got in another situation where the people in charge of me tried to lie on me to get me in trouble. So I threw them directly under the bus, got in the driver's seat, backed up over them, drove over them again, backed up over them, and drove over them again. And then that point, I just surrendered any resistance. I surrendered any thought that I knew better than my intuition or the signs or how I was being led. And so I came here to Vietnam and I tried to build my life again with this new belief system. And I was surrounded by the most selfish reality that you can't even imagine. I mean, people that literally did not see that anyone even exists but them. Constantly drive the wrong way in traffic and, abuse animals. And, I'm not talking about Vietnamese people. I'm just talking about the reality that I was in. And I just kept believing like this is like the final boss test. This is the reality. This is God seeing if I really have faith or not. And even the partner that I had, like, just kept being put in front of me. I don't think that we really even pursued each other, but we kept being put, or my partner kept being put in front of me. I know that. And so I chose my partner because of that, because of my belief system, and that, okay, if it keeps being presented to me, it must be for me. And then through all these years, I've managed to survive. But in the last 2 days, I realized it's not because I was able to call in opportunities or abundance. It's because of everybody else that has either believed in me or wanted something from me or fed off of me or benefited from me. And I just kept going. I just kept being more loving. I kept telling myself I had to improve, that it was a test for me to be better, for me to continue to love in spite of people kicking me in my teeth over and over and over and abusing me and using me and taking from me and benefiting from me. And I ran my business for years, never getting anything out of it. But everybody else benefited from everything that I did. From the money that I paid to rent, to the energy and the love that I put into everything that I did or touched. Every order, everything I sold, every interaction. And then I can recognize that when I began to stand up for myself, everyone rejected it. Everyone. Everyone whose same blood pumped through my veins. Everyone that benefited from me couldn't tolerate or stand the fact that I wanted better, that I demanded better, that I deserved better, that I wouldn't let them abuse delivery drivers, that I wouldn't let them, uh, treat me poorly or my partner poorly or animals poorly, that I wouldn't let them shit on my property and force me to clean it every day and just keep my mouth shut, that I wouldn't let them lie to my face and just be quiet. And the more that I stood up for myself, the more reality rejected me. I'm going to go to part 2.